Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Monday Night Facebook Live. It's great to see everybody again. And we do Facebook Lives every Monday. So thank you again for joining us. My name is Laura Betts. And as always, I'm here to share some just great topics and information with you. And I just got back a few weeks ago. I was at one of my absolute favorite sources of information. I was at the Cellcore Conference ECO 2024, and it stands for Exponential Clinical Outcomes. And this is part of the foundational training that I have. I have specific training in something called foundational medicine. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because traditional approaches versus a functional medicine approach versus a foundational medicine approach. And hyperbaric oxygen, because the oxygen goes everywhere in the body except for very dense bone, we're addressing root causes whether we like it or not. The body is trying to heal, the body is trying to repair. So this is something that I started to observe early on in my hyperbaric career, and it's part of what led us to the growth and practices that we have here. So really neat stuff all the way around, and just great information. And I'm going to go ahead and just share I'm going to talk a little bit about something called the Roadmap to Health, which is part of our approach here. And I've done some videos on it. But again, I've just got back from this conference. We have just some amazing information. And I thought this would really be a great topic to deep dive into tonight. So again, welcome. This one. As always, again, we do Facebook Lives every Monday, and this is a great opportunity for you to ask questions real time in the chat. And this is something that we've got lots of topics, lots of resources. You can ask our oxygen experts and holistic health practitioners questions real time in the chat. And again, just trying to give you some education and some information to help you make more informed choices. So again, welcome. It's great having you here. Again, tonight's topic, I'm going to talk about approaches to Lyme disease. I'm going to talk about the difference between a traditional versus a functional versus a foundational approach. Some of you may not even know what Lyme disease is. You may have never heard of it. And of course, last week, I talked about why you should do hyperbaric oxygen therapy before and after travel. Great video. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out under our videos. We've got lots of great topics there, tons of information to empower you, to give you tools to help heal and rebalance your health naturally. So great options. Again, for those of you that may just be listening for the first time, my name is Laura Betts. I am founder and facility director of HyperbaricsRx down here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. HyperbaricsRx is the only holistic hyperbaric center of its kind in the world. We are, in addition to an ANDI certified hyperbaric facility, we are also a ANDI research site. We are located, by the way, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But if you are listening to this at anywhere in the world, we do telehealth and we can help you. And we offer quantum nutrition testing, and we have clients all over the world that we are helping to be proactive about their health, to maintain their health, and of course, to restore and balance their health naturally. So really neat. I do sit on a couple of medical boards. I am a longtime member of the Andy Diving and Medical Board. I am also vice president of substance abuse program and protocol integration for the International Hyperbaric Medical Foundation. I've done a video where I talked a little bit about my personal story, and I am not just a spokesperson, also a client. I was a mixed gas scuba diving instructor. That was my initial profession. That was my initial career. And I ended up with my own personal health journey. And hyperbaric oxygen therapy is part of the reason why I'm here sharing this information with you. after the hyperbaric oxygen healed and restored my body, I wasn't finished. I still had some things that I needed to clear up. I hadn't fully addressed the root cause that caused the tumor in my breast in the first place. So I have other videos where I talk about my story, and this is how I got into foundational medicine in handling my own root causes. And we're a training and research site here. We have cutting edge information. We are an ANDI certified hyperbaric facility, by the way. And again, I encourage you to reach out, give us a call. Our number is 954-749-9998. Schedule a consultation with us. There really is a HyperbaricsRx difference. And most facilities that offer hyperbaric oxygen therapy are not ANDI certified, and they certainly are not coming from a holistic foundational medicine approach that's designed to personally be customized to you, personalized program, personalized diet plan to help you heal and rebalance your health naturally. And again, if you're not local to us, that's okay. Again, we do quantum nutrition testing, we do telehealth all over the world. I would love to help you. I have some amazing cases and some incredible stories that I've shared. I encourage you to check out our other videos. And again, if you are struggling or you know someone who's struggling, please, please, please give our office a call. Again, last week, I did a really awesome video on why you should do HBOT before and after travel. And again, tonight's topic, I'm going to talk about Lyme disease, traditional versus functional versus foundational. Now, I was born in Long Island, and coming from the New York, New Jersey area, this is a really big deal. Growing up, many of my friends, many of family members, this concept of Lyme disease and chronic Lyme. And unfortunately, because of a lot of misinformation, there is something called, quote, chronic Lyme. And part of that is because people do good things, but they don't do enough of it in the right order for the right amount of time. And that's why the roadmap to health is so important. And I'll share a little bit about. So a traditional versus functional versus foundational medicine approach. So chronic Lyme disease. First of all, a traditional approach may not even acknowledge chronic Lyme. People that are struggling with chronic Lyme will talk about how they've been to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they say, well, there's no such thing as chronic Lyme. You don't have Lyme disease. There are some problems with the blood tests, with the diagnostics that are being used. So if the blood test comes back negative, well, then there must not be Lyme there. Well, in some cases, the blood test is like trying to listen for a heartbeat with an X-ray. The test is excluding information that is the marker for a positive result. So in many cases, for a long list of reasons, there's really some problems with this testing. How traditional medicine views Lyme disease is a person is in an area with lots of ticks. They get bit by a tick. The tick produces a bull's eye rash. So the tick bite, the bug bite, has a ring around it. It looks like a bullseye. And that's the diagnostic for Lyme. And then it's treated with a short course of aggressive antibiotics, and it's handled. That's the traditional perspective. But unfortunately, in most cases, it ignores the fact that one, the vectors, the source of the Lyme, the source of the bacteria can come from other places than just ticks. There's a lot of information that clinically documents and supports that. Also, people could be bit in an area of the body. Let's say I got bit on my head. Well, my hair is covering that. you're not going to see a bullseye rash. What if I got bit on my back? And by the time the symptoms start to present, it's been a few weeks and there isn't a bullseye rash anymore. In some of the training that I've done, shown pictures of bullseye rashes on babies, and it just looks like a bug bite. It's really hard to identify that. So in a traditional approach, they might not even recognize chronic Lyme. The idea that a short course of antibiotics is able to eradicate the pathogen, eradicate the bacteria, and that's all that's necessary. Well, one of the other problems that the traditional approach overlooks is there's about 40 to 60 co-infections, other types of bacteria, other types of pathogens that can also be transmitted along with the primary bacteria, the B. burgdorferi, which is the name of the bacteria associated with the most common type of Lyme disease. So in this particular scenario, the traditional approach essentially doesn't recognize that this person could be dealing with long-term symptoms as a result of a Lyme exposure, some kind of tick bite, some kind of exposure to Lyme disease. Now, the functional approach will acknowledge that there's chronic Lyme, but the course is to do strong antibiotics for extended periods of time. Now, antibiotics create as much of a problem as they're attempting to help. Antibiotics, I've done some other videos talking about how hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a broad spectrum bactericide, but unlike an antibiotic, which kills everything, it's a nuclear option. It destroys the good gut bacteria and the bad gut bacteria. The hyperbaric oxygen only hurts bad stuff. It's really fascinating how the good stuff is a neutral. But these long courses of antibiotics ultimately cause additional mitochondria damage. And the mitochondria damage is the root of why the person is still dealing with the chronic condition. I've done some other videos explaining mitochondria damage and the root cause of disease and how when the mitochondria becomes damaged, and there's only a few ways that the mitochondria can become damaged: structural, emotional, toxin, or pathogen, and the toxins open the door for the pathogens, and the pathogens act like sponges for the toxins. So this is where the foundational approach really is significantly different. This is what we do here. This is our approach to Lyme disease, and it really is different. So in a foundational approach to Lyme disease, number one, we're going to acknowledge that, first of all, there is such a thing as chronic Lyme. Two, causing more damage to the body where the treatment is worse than the symptoms that the disease is producing, that's not the right way to handle it. For some perspective, it takes about 8 years for the microbiome, our immune system, to recover from just a single course of antibiotics. Because of the disruptions in our food supply, because we don't eat fermented foods, because of a variety of other factors dealing with the disrupted standard American diet, once we've killed that good gut bacteria, it really takes a long time for the body to do it by itself. We essentially really need help to recover this. 8 years from a single course of antibiotics. So now you'll have somebody that are on these long extended courses of antibiotics, and they have all of these secondary immune issues because their bifidobacterium, their good gut bacteria, is continually being damaged as we're trying to handle this. So In a foundational approach, why is the Lyme disease persisting? We want to address the mitochondria dysfunction. That's what's going on here. If the mitochondria was strong, if the immune system was strong, it would be able to fight off this pathogen. We acknowledge that parasites disrupt immune function and they proliferate Lyme. Believe it or not, everybody has Lyme bacteria. All of us. The issue is not the Lyme bacteria. The issue is when the stressor, usually a toxin, causes it to pleomorph. And pleomorphism, um, this is the ability of some microorganisms. They're able to essentially change their morphology. They switch into a different form. They can change their biological function based on environmental stressors. So fascinatingly enough, using Babesia as example, which is a Lyme co-infection, Babesia has multiple forms, including a protozoan form. And this is part of the reason why chronic Lyme, outside of a foundational approach, is able to continue to become chronic. If you continue to bombard the body with toxins, like from an antibiotic, if you're not addressing the root causes, which often are the stressor is an environmental toxin, when you try to treat it, it pleomorphs, it changes into a more resistant life cycle. Again, we all have Lyme bacteria in our body. The issue is not the Lyme. The issue is the pleomorphic response to the stressor, usually a toxin. So completely different approach here. And how we're going to handle it is with a proper roadmap to health. So understanding here, in order to handle this from a foundational approach, we need to do the right things in the right amount, in the right order, for the right amount of time. Detox and drainage, not the same thing. And I've discussed that in some of the earlier videos. If the mitochondria is damaged, we're not going to be able to effectively kill pathogens. We're not going to be able to effectively restore the immune function. We're not going to be able to effectively handle what's going on, the imbalance, the dysregulation. So in a foundational approach, our phase one is drainage and mitochondria function. And that's a very personalized thing. And we use hyperbaric oxygen therapy, we use state-of-the-art DNA analysis, and we use targeted supplementation with quantum nutrition testing and nutrition response testing in order to get answers here. Now, once we've got the mitochondria happy, once we have gone ahead and created a situation where the body can drain, if you're dealing with chronic Lyme and you're not moving your bowels at least once a day, if you have chronic constipation, or if you're swinging where you go from being severely constipated, where you don't go to the bathroom for a few days, and then now you swing the other way, and now we're going to the bathroom too often, essentially we have diarrhea, that's a drainage pathway issue. I've done some videos explaining the drainage funnel at length, but essentially we need to get that done first. We need to handle drainage, we need to handle mitochondria, and that's a personalized approach. We need to know what the stressor is. We need to know the root cause of that environmental toxin. Once we've handled mitochondria and drainage, now we can start to clean up the gut. And part of cleaning up that gut is handling parasites. Now, parasites are sponges for toxins, and there's some incredible research on it. I'm going to be doing some more education on this, and I'll be including links and sharing with this, so please make sure you keep checking back. So in a traditional approach, are parasites common? No. In a traditional approach, parasites, we're a first world country. We don't have parasites here. The traditional approach is going to completely ignore that there's been destabilization in the gut and that we've got essentially critters that are acting as sponges for the toxins, which cause mitochondria damage, which can't fight off the pathogens, which allow more pathogens, which are sponges for more toxins. And essentially, this is the root cause. And it's just this circle. The mitochondria is damaged, so it can't clear the toxins and pathogens, and the toxins and pathogens are causing damage to the mitochondria. So we need a roadmap to health. We need to do the right things in the right order for the right amount of time that's addressing the root cause. And we need to do this with a personalized program and a personalized diet plan. Now, in a functional medicine perspective, sometimes they do acknowledge that there are parasites. Not as often. In a traditional, no, doesn't happen. First world country, no such thing. Parasites, by the way, are one of the absolute most misdiagnosed root causes. If you have a pulse, you have parasites. If you go outside, spend time around people, eat food, or spend any time around animals, you have parasites. We all have parasites. If you eat sushi, you have parasites. I did a video on that specifically. The issue is not the parasites. The issue is, what are we doing about it? And how are we maintaining our health? Are we being proactive or are we being reactive? So in a functional approach, sometimes they address the parasites, but unfortunately, very often, they'll do it in a short course of some kind of anti-parasitic. And they'll do it where a 5-day, 7-day, something along those lines. Now, that's a problem in itself, because in the destruction of some of these parasites, each segment of the parasite essentially has its own ovary and it has its own set of reproductive organs. So when they use these antiparasitics in short courses, it causes the parasite to dump its egg sacs in a last ditch death row protective response. So while they may get some temporary relief, 3 to 6 months later, the symptoms come back significantly, massive bloom. And then the idea from the functional approach is, yeah, but we already handled parasites. Right, but we're always being infected by parasites. And what are we doing to handle it? So in a foundational approach on a roadmap to health, we have a totally different perspective here. And yes, parasites always need to be addressed. They're a significant source of health issues, and they are our phase 2 in our roadmap to health. So after we've handled mitochondria and drainage, now we're going to go deeper into the gut, phase 2, and we're going to start to handle parasites. Parasites are a result of our environmental toxin exposure. If the mitochondria was not damaged, the body would handle parasites. Many people have asymptomatic parasites. Parasites are a result of our environmental toxin exposure. They are sponges for the parasites. And the parasites cause nutrient deficiencies. They cause immune dysfunction. I cannot tell you how many times in my clinical career we have someone who has a formal diagnosis of some type of immune disorder, something like mast cell activation. They're being told that this is genetic, and it's not genetic. It's epigenetic. And sure enough, on a short, if just a few weeks into a proper roadmap to health, and they are evacuating large, visible amounts of parasites. And a head up, if you're listening to this and you're going to send me an email, that's great. If you're sending me a picture of something that came out of your body, I get pictures of stuff like that all the time. But please, 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 my only request is that you put warning parasite picture in the email subject, so that if I'm in the middle of eating my lunch or something, I'm not just taken aback on this. But yeah, hard to believe that in a very short course of very specialized, but herbal, we're using medicinal grade herbs here, little different approach. And the toxins are very often the root causes of the nutritional deficiencies, and the parasites are sponges for toxins. If you are megadosing some kind of nutrient, if you are megadosing some kind of supplementation, but your blood work does not change, there's a good reason why. And the root cause of that nutritional deficiency is it's being demonstrated on the lab that it's not the nutrients itself. More often than not, about 95% of the time, when we handle the environmental toxins, essentially the nutritional deficiencies ultimately resolve themselves. So this is a little different perspective here. It's part of the difference in a foundational medicine approach. And if you're hearing this, I would love to help you. Please reach out to our office, schedule a consultation. We're going to take a detailed full medical history. We're going to talk to you for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on how complex your case is, after we've reviewed all of the information that you've said to us. We want to hear what's going on. I want to hear what you've done, what you've been struggling with, what you're dealing with right now. And my goal in this is to figure out, how can I make you happier? What's the root causes here? How are we going to fix this? After we gather all of that information, we're going to compile it, and then we're going to do a follow-up, and we're going to take a second appointment. We're going to share with you what we found. We're going to share with you what the root causes are, and we're going to give you a written roadmap to health, a written action plan on how we're going to educate you to heal and rebalance your health naturally. It really can be done. If you've been told that give up, there's nothing you can do, this is genetic. Okay, your cells don't accept that. That's not a foundational medicine approach. Heck, half of the time, the traditional approach doesn't even acknowledge that it's possible for the person to be struggling. They invalidate the existing symptoms. We're not going to do that here. And we would love to help you restore your health. Again, chronic Lyme, we can handle chronic Lyme. We can help you restore and rebalance your health naturally. So again, reach out to our office, 954-749-9998. Send us a direct message. Send us an email. Proper roadmap to health. You'd be amazed at the difference that this can make. We get reduction of symptoms within a few weeks. It's incredible. And we would love to help you. Again, a lot of people doing good things, but not necessarily in the right order. They're not doing the right amount of it, and they're not doing it for the right amount of time. So we're going to find out what your root causes are. We're going to find out what your stressors are, what's causing the mitochondria damage. We're going to handle the toxin. We're going to handle the stressor. We're going to get the mitochondria functioning again. We're going to get you draining. We're going to get you going to the bathroom normally. Yes, that's possible. So again, I really encourage you to reach out. We really are different here at our Holistic Hyperbaric Center. We really do have a very different approach, and you're not crazy. It's not in your head. And we would love to help you regain your health, rebalance your health naturally. Again, we've got discount dive packages, we've got wellness programs, and we're going to personalize it to you. We've got programs we're going to naturally support. We're going to rebalance your body. We use physician grade whole food supplements. We use homeopathy, which are liquid supplements. We use herbs, and we really have some very special foundational products utilizing carbon technology. Again, it's been absolutely amazing. I thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really hope that I gave you some solid information. One of the differences about myself as a practitioner is, if you haven't noticed, I absolutely love what I do. And part of that is I'm always training, I'm always learning. This is a conference that I just got back from. This is just the slides from the conference. I have so much information to share with you. We have so many tools here. And not only are we always learning, not only do we have the ability to learn from some of the leading holistic professionals in the world, but we're an Andy training and research site. We're applying this here. We have a lot more data. So again, just absolutely amazing. So I do Facebook Lives again every Monday night. If you've got somebody that's struggling, please send them the link. Let them ask some questions real time in the chat. Again, it's absolutely great having you here with it. Hi, Vilu. Thank you so much for watching. Great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And again, absolutely incredible. So we just love having you here, and absolutely awesome. And thank you again. So my name is Laura Betts. I am a facility director and founder of HyperbaricsRx here in South Florida. It's been another amazing Monday night Facebook Live. And please feel free to share this. Send me some direct messages. Happy diving, everybody. This has been the Oxygen Lady coming to you live. Thank you so much. Blessed be. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.